What did Santa bring you, honey?
Howdy, welcome to Hang the Critic with Josh Ball. I'm Josh Ball and this is Hang the Critic. When the stop motion animated film Coraline was released, I was in high school and I remember there being a lot of confusion because on the poster it said from the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas, and everyone thought, oh, Tim Burton's making another movie. But that's where they were wrong. Even though it is called Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, although I think nowadays it's called Disney's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Even though that's what it's called, Tim Burton did not direct that movie. He produced it, he came up with a story, he designed all the characters, it's got, you know, his stamp on the whole thing. He wasn't the director. The director of that film was a man called Henry Selick. Now, Henry Selick, every movie that he's done so far has involved stop motion animation. And if you don't know what stop motion animation is, look it up, because I don't have time to go into it now.
Stop motion animation is a process whereby we take a puppet like this and we move him a little bit, take your hand away, take a picture. We repeat that picture. We develop the film and we play it back, and without my hand being involved at all, his arm's gonna swing around like this. It's a way to bring inanimate objects that aren't alive, to life.
I've always loved stop motion animation, ever since I was a kid. It's one of my favorite forms of animation, really. I remember just sitting there going, what is that? Like, you know, they look real, but they're moving. And it was like a whole different world. You know, it wasn't a two-dimensional world like all other animation was at the time, aside from Toy Story. It was a whole new ballpark of its own. But yeah, Tim Burton had next to no experience in stop motion animation, so Henry Selick directed it instead. I believe Nightmare Before Christmas was the first full-length stop motion animated film.
Just a second, fellow. Of course! That's what I'm missing. But thanks.
You just can't.
But Henry Selick did not stop there. No. After that, he went on to direct the wonderful film James and the Giant Peach, which is another film which is referred to as a Tim Burton film, even though Tim Burton only produced that film. He had nothing else to do with it. I think part of the issue and the confusion is that they have very similar styles, Henry Selick and Tim Burton. Old German expressionism, like gnarled trees and crooked houses and all that aesthetic is very similar. James and the Giant Peach, based on the book by Roald Dahl, a brilliant film in of itself. It's partially live action and it's partially in stop motion. It's a wonderful adaptation of that story. It follows fairy tale logic, and I love fairy tale logic. It's got Richard Dreyfuss, Susan Sarandon, Miriam Margolyes, Joanna Lumley, Pete Postlethwaite. Dear Pete Postlethwaite, how I miss you.
We are in the middle of the, how do you say, the big puddle.
Biggest puddle in them all, Angel Fangs. The Atlantic Ocean.
Technically, the Pacific is larger.
Well, that goes without saying.
But yeah, Tim Burton, I love Tim Burton, but it's like he's hanging over Henry Selick and everything that he does. Tim Burton did not direct these movies, Henry Selick directs these movies, and he deserves the credit.
Sorry to interject, I just thought I'd clarify that I'm not in any way suggesting that Tim Burton is somehow deliberately trying to take credit for Henry Selick's movies. It's just, you know, the way marketing falls, Tim Burton is a more bankable name than Henry Selick. No offense meant to Tim Burton. Back to you, Josh.
Then he did a film called Monkey Bone. And I don't know if many remember or have even heard of Monkey Bone. It's another combination of stop motion animation and live action. It's very strange and very out there. Henry Selick must have a wonderful imagination. It goes into some very strange places. It's about a man played by Brendan Fraser, again, the cartoonist, and he's had great success with this character called Monkey Bone. On the night of the premiere of the new Monkey Bone animated series, he goes into a coma and he goes into this strange purgatory type place. It's filled with weird creatures and bizarre sights and sounds, and he meets Monkey Bone, who's actually voiced by John Turturro. I didn't realize that for a long time. It had Whoopi Goldberg, Thomas Hayden Church, Dave Foley, that girl from Charmed. A bizarre film that if you're on its wavelength, you'll get into it, you'll enjoy it. Interesting piece of work, but a notable one, definitely.
Look,
I'm a simple person. I do an honest day's work. Why does everybody make it so hard for me?
Then, of course, came Coraline. Coraline is based on a novella by Neil Gaiman, who is my favorite author of all time, and I'm sure I'll go into Neil Gaiman more in other videos. That's what I like about Henry Selick, actually. I like the fact that he's retaining that edge to a lot of children's stories. You know, children's stories used to be a lot darker than they are now, and I like that about them. That's why he works well with the people like Neil Gaiman and Roald Dahl. Like, they have that sort of dark, shadowy places and sinister characters. They're not afraid to be scary. I love that about them.
No way! You're not sewing buttons in my eyes!
Oh, but we need a yes if you want to stay here.
So sharp you won't feel it.
I think Jim Henson actually once said that children should be scared once in a while. Become accustomed to the fact that there are scary things in life. I'm totally in agreement with that. This is coming from someone who, as a kid, was afraid of everything. Real, genuinely. Like, you know, ask anyone who knew me as a kid. I was a terrified little boy. But yeah, Henry Selick, you know, it's a long time between projects because, as I said, it's stop motion, and that takes a long time to make. But yeah, God, I cannot wait to see what he does next. He's got another film in the works, and I can't wait to see it because he's a brilliant filmmaker. Anyway, that's all I got for this episode of Hang the Critic. Hope you tune in next time. Hope you like, hope you subscribe, hope you follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. Keep watching movies, and I'll see you when I see you.
I don't understand.
Of course you don't understand. You're just a copy she made of the real Mr. B.
Not even that anymore.